Picture this. You're in London on a chilly October evening in 1814. The air smells faintly of hops and malt. You're walking past a massive brewery when suddenly you hear a sound like thunder, but it's not from the sky. It's coming from inside the building. And in seconds, a wall of beer is racing straight toward you. The Meux Brewery was one of the largest in the city, located in Tottenham Court Road. Inside, towering wooden vats, each the height of a 3-story building, held thousands of barrels of beer. One vat in particular contained over 600,000 liters of dark porter, sealed tight with heavy iron hoops. For years it had stood there, creaking under the strain. Workers joked that if it ever burst, the streets would flood. Nobody thought it would actually happen. At around 5:30 p.m. on October 17th, one of the vat's iron hoops snapped. The sound echoed through the brewery like a gunshot. Moments later, the wooden staves gave way, and the vat exploded. The force was so great, it knocked over another vat nearby, releasing an unstoppable wave of beer. In total, 1.4 million liters, enough to fill an Olympic swimming pool, tore through the brewery walls. The wall of beer smashed into the surrounding neighborhood of St. Giles, one of the poorest areas in London. Streets instantly turned into rivers of frothy porter. Small houses and pubs were flattened. In one pub, the beer came crashing through the wall mid-conversation, sweeping away furniture and patrons alike. In basements, where many families lived, people were trapped as the liquid poured in faster than they could escape. 8 people lost their lives. Some drowned in their own homes, others killed by collapsing walls and debris. One tragic story told of a young girl having tea with her mother, only to be swept away when their home's wall caved in. But the chaos didn't end there. The scent of free beer drew crowds. Some tried to collect it in pots and pans. Others simply bent down and drank it from the street. Witnesses later described drunkenness spreading almost as fast as the flood itself. When the floodwaters finally drained, the damage was catastrophic. Entire streets were wrecked, and dozens were injured. The brewery, astonishingly, faced no legal penalty. The courts called it an act of God. The Meux Brewery rebuilt, and beer production continued as if nothing had happened. But for the people of St. Giles, the smell of beer would forever be linked to loss. The London beer flood became infamous in newspapers, not just in Britain, but across the world. American papers reported it with a mix of shock and morbid humor. "A beer wave drowns Londoners" was one headline. In the years that followed, the story took on a strange legend-like quality. Some said the beer that soaked into the soil made the neighborhood smell like a pub for months. Others swore that certain cellars were still damp with porter years later. Today, the London beer flood feels like something from a tall tale, too absurd to be real. But it happened, and it's a reminder that history isn't just kings, wars, and politics. Sometimes it's about a tidal wave of beer changing a city forever. So next time you raise a pint, spare a thought for October 17th, 1814, the day London drank more than it could handle.